And we're live.
All right.
Woo!
It's July 1st. Happy Bidoof Day.
Yeah, the new holiday taking the world by storm.
New most important day. The most important thing to celebrate on July 1st, Bidoof Day. Um,
Definitely.
our Lord and Savior, Bidoof. Thank
Yep.
you to him. Yeah, what did you do to celebrate Bidoof Day? How did you show your appreciation for Big Bidoof?
Oh, I did my normal 10-hour shift.
Okay, okay. Yep, I went to work as well, went
Yeah,
to work.
work.
Um,
Yeah.
worked.
Mm,
Um, but in honor of Bidoof,
sure.
I keep Bidoof in here on Bidoof Day.
Yeah. Where else would you
As
keep
all
them
as all
besides a
good
Pokeball? Maybe.
as yeah. You got to let your Bidoofs out of the Pokeball on Bidoof Day. They're not allowed in the Pokeball.
Can't do that.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not allowed near
Uh
playgrounds anymore. Can't let the Bidoof out.
yeah, that's true. That's true. John's not here today. Uh is he letting a Bidoof out if you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, he's doing like family stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's running later than he expected.
Yeah.
But for those who are sticking around for the Bug Fables episode after this, John will be there for that.
Yeah.
So there's still a John podcast coming at you.
Oh.
And if you're not sticking around for the Bug Fables episode, then you suck. I don't know what else to
Wow.
say.
All right.
um, yeah, I caught up on Loki.
Okay. Yeah.
Last night's episode was awesome. So
The
exciting.
the after credits scene is crazy.
That part was great. There was just a lot of like exciting like twists and turns and like holy shit, they just what?
They
But then
they
again,
did
the
the
whole show's
thing.
time travel, so like what is anything gonna matter?
Yeah. And like it's based on comic books, nothing matters.
Sure.
They can retcon everything. But yeah, no, it was a good time for sure.
Quite enjoy that. Another thing I realized this after last week's show that we didn't talk about is the movie that came out the week before, Luca.
Okay, I watched that this week actually.
Luca is fantastic.
It is very good. Like it's hard. The thing, I guess, it's not a problem I have with it. It's just kind of the way it is. It's a Pixar movie, so like, there's nothing surprising in it. I just think it looks amazing. I like the setting of it, and that's kind of like the thing.
Yeah, it looks great. I mean, it kind of came out of nowhere for me. It wasn't super on my radar. Um, but free on Disney Plus, so that was pretty great.
Yeah,
My expectations, yeah, so they were pretty just kind of like low. Like I didn't have any expectation. I hadn't really
yeah.
seen a trailer, but like it's got to be my favorite Pixar movie for the last while.
Okay, I could see somebody making that argument for sure. It's very good.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny, like real consistently funny as it was going. You're right, it looks great. Um I feel like the characters looked a little different from your typical Pixar humans. They almost had like an Aardman company kind of
Yeah,
quality to their faces, like the smiles. You could just see like Wallace and Gromit in their like big toothy smiles.
the whole thing had a very almost animated claymation feel to it. Not like fully claymation, but like there's definitely hints of it in a lot of it, and that I thought that was cool looking.
It was also just like really touching in a typical Pixar fashion.
Yeah.
So that was great to see. Some fun twists with some of the characters, some fun reveals. I thoroughly enjoyed it. That'll be one that I'm like looking for the Blu-ray when, on Black Friday when I do my yearly buy up all the Blu-rays from the last year for cheap.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good. Literal fish out of water story for anybody who might not like Luca literally came out of nowhere. So for people who might not know what it is about a sea monster who kind of it like almost a reverse Little Mermaid in a weird way. Like goes up to the land and starts living with humans for a while and kind of meets another boy And
Well, I mean, that's not Reverse Little Mermaid. That's Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid, yeah.
No voice being stolen.
No
Um,
voice being
but
stolen.
just like really silly like Italian stereotypes.
Yeah,
They're
pretty
just like
good.
way into pasta, praying to the different saints of cheeses, which was good. All the characters, I loved like every character that was introduced. I enjoyed them quite a bit. The girl is delightful. Her dad is fantastic. Um, Luca's parents were all great. Um, I just really liked that movie.
So, in the chat is saying the first 20 minutes didn't sell me. I would say I also was not feeling it until he was really like out of water and doing stuff. That's when I think it. The intro is really just setting up like the beginning shit that like who his family is and what he is essentially. It doesn't really start popping off until him and I can't remember the other kid's name.
The other boy, I don't remember. I think like the
Alberto,
best part, Alberto. Yeah, I knew it started with an A. Yeah, when he meets Alberto, and then you get the kind of montage of them building
a Vespa.
a Vespa, and I also just love that like Vespa is life. Like it's the best possible thing in the world.
I
That's
would
great
I
too.
would almost argue that like that movie really starts kicking off when they meet Julia, or was it Julia? What was her name?
Juliet sounds more
Juliet.
familiar, but I
Yeah,
don't quite remember.
I think it's something like that. But
I
when
mean, that's
they
what I was gonna say. Is I actually like I really like it when he meets Alberto and they're goofing off together, but then I really like it when he gets to the town. So it's like I think it gets better and better as it's going.
that's when it really pops off for me specifically because then you kind of meet like the villain, quote unquote, of the like antagonist in the douchebag
He's a complete
racer.
goofball. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like her dad's great, the cat's great. That's kind of where it really starts kicking off for me. It was a little bit of a slow beginning, I would say, for me.
Um, and I know what you're thinking. Hey, it's a new Pixar movie. Where's my animated short that I'm supposed to watch in front of a Pixar movie? I do this every time, like clockwork. I respect Pixar as what I do, and there
Okay.
isn't one for this, unfortunately. But if you had to pick one out, because I know it's ingrained in you, like it's ingrained with me, you got to watch an animated short before you watch a new Pixar movie. I got to recommend La Luna, which is an older Pixar short about the boy, his father, and the grandfather going fishing for stars. It's by the same director as Luca.
Oh, do you think
Yeah,
that's they make some callback about the stars and fish being fish?
I wouldn't be
Maybe
surprised. Yeah, like he probably did that. Like so, that was kind of
interesting.
his first shot, and they brought him back to do a feature film. So those ones pair pretty nicely together. Um, if you're
Interesting.
kind of setting up the whole evening, so there's a little pro tip for you there. So.
Cool. Neat.
They're also some in the chat's also saying there's a new Simpsons cross Loki short, which I didn't know about.
I didn't know that
That
either.
last one was pretty bad.
Oh, was
The
it?
like the like Star Wars Simpsons one they made.
I don't think I watched it.
Yeah, that wasn't great. But maybe I'll watch this next time I'm in Disney Plus. So,
Yeah.
all right, let's talk about some video ass games.
Okay.
Because this is the top down perspective for July 1st. This is the top down perspective for Bidoof Day.
Hmm.
So, everything we're going to talk about is going to be related to Bidoof in some way. See if you can spot the
Yeah. Write in and
similarities.
see if you can tell us where it was.
Yeah, and if you get it all right, maybe you'll win a prize. Maybe you won't.
Yeah.
I'm Sean Booker,
I'm Paul Fleck.
and I'm going to go ahead and talk first because I'm playing the new game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm playing Mario Golf. What is
Yeah.
the subtitle of this game?
I don't know.
Super Rush. Mario Golf Super
Right.
Rush.
That's right. Yeah.
This is a bad video game.
Yeah, I've heard some middling things about it, and I'm really glad I didn't just jump into it.
Yeah. I am at the point where I regret buying it, but I spent
Oh,
like $60 on it, so I'm gonna play through the adventure mode.
I heard
But
that's bad. The story mode's bad. Is that true?
that's all I'm playing, and so all I can say so far is
Oh,
it's not good. I don't think this is a good video game.
uh huh.
So like presentation wise and everything, it's a typical first party Nintendo game. It looks good, it sounds good, plays nicely, but the beat to beat of what you're doing in this story mode is not enjoyable. So you're playing as a me, which is already just kind of a turn off.
Okay,
Um,
sure.
but I mean, whatever. And it's so it's typical Mario Golf fashion. You got the whole RPG elements. You're upgrading how far you can hit the ball, but they've kind of changed how golf works in this. So, I don't play a ton of golf games, but when I'm playing my golf games, getting that great swing, that great hit on the ball, and then kind of watching it fly and like seeing where it lands, that's kind of a great feeling. When you do speed golf, you don't get to do it because what speed golf is you have to everyone's playing at the same time, or you're just doing like a I don't know, like a practice round. So you hit the ball and then you have to manually run to the ball. Now your character can't run very fast, so it takes a while. You can dash and and run like a dash is like a super run basically, and it uses up your stamina. So you start mashing on the super rush because you want to get over there as fast as you can, and then you just slowly walk until you fill up half your stamina meter, and then you hit the L button again so you can run real fast. And you don't get to watch your ball fly. You don't get to watch like how it lands. There's literally been times where I've like chipped the ball right into the hole, and I didn't get to watch that. Instead, I got to watch the back of my character's head because I was running over to the hole expecting me to have to putt it. So even just like the whole thing of like sitting down and playing like a series of holes and just hitting the ball and lining up your shots and hitting it is held back because every time you take a shot, you have to run over there and get the ball again. And if you get to the ball too fast and it's not done rolling, you just have to sit around and wait for it to stop rolling and then you can now hit the ball again.
Hmm.
And there's no real point to it. They do mention you can like bump the other people out of the way, but there's no incentive to do it because it's not like what if someone bumps you, they don't interact with your ball or anything like that.
Right.
So yeah, maybe they'll get to their ball faster than mine, but I'm given 2 minutes to run there and hit the ball. Like that's fine. You can do yours first. I'm still gonna get under par and like perform better than you because you're an AI and this is like the third level.
So the speed like literally doesn't matter at all. The speed
No,
aspect.
not no. I mean,
Oh.
no.
So it's not even like first one to do like all 18 holes is
No,
like
there's no race element to it. It's literally just you have 2 minutes to hit the ball and then hit it again. So you have to make
yeah,
sure you line up your shot,
that's
hit
bad.
it like you're doing normally, and then you have to run over there. And it's
That's
like
bad. What a waste. Yeah, okay.
so and then it gets weirder when they introduce cross country golf, which is the same setup except now you're given like 9 holes and they say do them in whatever order you want.
Hmm.
And that on paper that sounds kind of interesting because you can like turn around and like shoot at like the eighth hole and then go to the fourth hole and yada yada.
Yeah.
And again, on paper it sounds cool because there's different levels, so you're like shooting off a cliff and stuff. But then you get into scenarios where like, well, now I need to shoot up this cliff. Because I'm right at the bottom of the cliff, you can't shoot a ball directly up. So is there a tornado around for me to shoot my ball into so it'll bounce up? Not really. So you're kind of like you have to like really plan out how you're going to get the balls around because it's not just like an easy fluid. I'm going to go to this one because it's the closest one. And again, you have to run to your ball. So a lot of the times you're like running over to this tornado. So it'll raise you up a level so you can run back over to your ball. Because there's different stages, a lot of time you can't even really see where your ball bounces because the camera is not great. Because of course it's not. It's frustrating, and yeah, I don't know. Like, I really wish it was just can I just play a roll like a round of golf? Like I don't care. A lot of people are saying the multiplayer is better. And in that I could see that being a little different because you actually, you could bump your friends out of the way. But at the end of the day, it's like who cares though? We're still not racing to finish these first.
Well, apparently
So
in
then
multiplayer it's time based and 30 seconds per stroke. So it sounds like there is a time like a reason why you would want to be faster.
well, so 30 per seconds per stroke. That's a lot of time when for the most part you know which hole you're going towards. You just need to like check the wind and be like, okay, I'm just not going to aim at the sand pit. I I would be surprised if anyone actually took 30 seconds to do a stroke.
Well, it's the lowest time wins. So like there's a reason why you would want to be faster in that.
Okay. In the maybe that's true. In the adventure mode, I have not had that as a
Yeah,
as like a goal yet. So maybe that's coming. Maybe that's just a multiplayer thing. I can't speak to that. I
sure.
from what
Yeah,
so far it's just been all about getting less strokes. So the speed
sure.
part of it has been completely irrelevant,
Yeah.
which just kind of sucks because it's the part I really dislike about this game, and the fact that there's no point to it at the moment. Just like it's like nonsense.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's a bummer. The story mode's also weird. You're like in like a dorm with it's
Oh,
kind of like a dorm. It's like a yeah, it's like a clubhouse, and it's you, a a boo, Toadette, and a charging Chuck,
okay.
and Birdo is your like house mom, and she wants you to call her mama,
Oh,
and you're just like you're here because you guys are all gonna play golf. And they're kind of like your like quote unquote rivals, like you'll play them on in
oh,
tournaments and stuff.
yeah.
And
Okay.
after each tournament, you have to go back to your house and sleep for the next day. I don't know. It's just kind of weird, that's for sure.
Arjun Shuck,
Um,
huh? Interesting.
Charging Chuck's there, and he's like way into like hitting the ball as hard as he can.
Totally.
But
Yeah.
Boo's really into like having a lot of control over it. And what's Toadette's thing? She plays golf like it's chess, whatever that means.
Mm. She plays.
I get yeah. I don't know. What's odd is when you're doing like the tournaments for cross country, since you're playing against the computers, you won't even like run into them. Like the whole scenario of like knocking them over or them knocking you over is totally avoidable because you can just go to a different hole that they're going towards. And then you pretty much won't see them for the rest of it because there's 9 holes. Like there's just so much space between you guys. You'll
Hmm.
just never see them again. Yeah, I think it's rough. I can't recommend it.
Is
And
there
I'm
like
kind of
just an arcade mode if you're like, I want to hit like 20 holes against the AI on my road trip or something?
there might be so there's like two options in the main menu, and the other option outside of the story mode is it like a multiplayer thing, and you might be able to set up like a bot match. I haven't dug too deep into it because I was like, well, the story mode seems to be kind of the thing. Let's focus on that. Um,
Sure. I, I guess I have one more question.
yeah,
Uh, how zany is it? Because like, I think the thing that like I would want is a Mario game to just be like, you got the fire flower, now your shot is on fire and burning through trees, or like, I don't know, some cool
yeah.
shit like
So
that.
far, none of that.
Okay.
You do start the adventure mode by watching like on TV, like Mario and all the friends doing some just nonsense zany attacks on like almost like a battleground looking or coliseum thing.
Okay.
So I'm assuming I'll get to that at some point. I'm assuming that's also a multiplayer mode.
Yeah,
Um,
probably.
yeah, people are saying battle golf is insane, so it's just a lot of explosions and stuff. I haven't gotten to that in the story mode if it's there yet. The
Okay.
story mode is just depressing and slow.
Gotcha. Okay. And this is a full $60 Nintendo product, so
Yep.
probably never gonna go on sale.
I mean, I bet American money speaking, I bet you'll get $20 off at some point, but it
Oh,
won't get
maybe.
lower than $40.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
Um, Apart from that, I tried out the Sea of Thieves Pirates of the Caribbean campaign.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah.
A friend of mine was asking, "Hey, are you interested in trying it out?" And I was like, "Sure." I haven't played Sea of Thieves since it was in like early access on Game Pass,
Yeah.
and they keep pumping stuff in there. So we tried out the Sea of Thieves things. It's 5 different like chapters basically. We played the first 2 of them.
Okay.
The first one is pretty good. Like you're in like a kind of like a ghost island, and you're going through caves, and you keep seeing pirate ghosts, and the song from the ride keeps playing, and people are whispering like yo ho, and it's like, oh, this is pretty enjoyable. Like I like that. And Jack Sparrow eventually shows up, and then he gets whisked off by like a monster. And so, all right, let's start chapter two. It starts on a cliffhanger. Chapter two is terrible. I'm never playing it again.
Oh, okay. Wow. That switch
Like
up.
it went from like, wow, this is actually like this is pretty fun, and I'm a huge co-op gamer. I could see maybe we should go try out like those other campaigns that they've put in here. Like there's a lot to do in Sea of Thieves. Like I could do some of this.
Yeah.
Chapter 2 is so bad I'm not playing any more Sea of Thieves.
What did it do?
So in chapter 2, you have to like swim deep underwater to like the sunken Black Pearl or something like that.
Okay.
Um and Jack Sparrow's not in chapter 2, which is
Okay.
pretty ridiculous. It's also like twice as long as the first chapter. So they really like kind of tease you like, "Ooh, some Jack Sparrow." And then they're like, "Oh, Jack Sparrow's actually not in a lot of this thing. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We could only pay the Johnny Depp sound alike for so many lines, so we really got to stretch those out."
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't know. Jack Sparrow might come up a whole bunch later on. I only played the first two chapters. So, first off, you're underwater. Swimming underwater in a video game sucks. You're a whole bunch slower than you'd like to do. You can drown, so every now and then you have to like make sure you swim over near some bubbles. There's a whole bunch of combat underwater, which is pretty
Oh.
annoying.
Hmm.
They know it's annoying, so they give you like a special like laser trident so that it's easier to like shoot people. And that way you don't have to worry about like grabbing ammo or getting near someone to hit them with your sword. If you lose the trident, however, good luck. You're going to have to keep finding ammo crates and swimming back there as you try to shoot these people, or swim up to them and hit them with your sword. When you have so you want to stick with the trident. It's the most powerful. It's the easiest underwater. When you have the trident, you can't swim fast.
Hmm.
So the
Great.
slow movement, which was a little better when you could do the full on like sprint swim, you cannot sprint swim when you have the trident. So thanks for giving me the one weapon I would probably want to use. I don't know. Anyway, it's also hella buggy. Like
Oh.
there are so many bugs in this. You're gonna see this all over Twitter if you like search up their handle and stuff. To the point like our game got like stuck on certain checkpoints a few times that we had to just like keep dying until it would reset. We eventually beat the final boss of chapter 2. So we're 99% done the game. We're following the pathways leading out of the area. And I guess we missed a turn to like get the final cutscene and we like exited the area. It locked behind us. I can no longer finish chapter 2.
Oh wow. So you
I
have
have
to
restarted the
restart
game. I would have to restart the entire thing that I hated.
Oh yeah. No, fuck that then. I
Yeah,
agree.
like I literally got 99. I finished the final boss. I just needed to interact with like a statue, and it would have been cutscene. You're done chapter 2. You can move on to the rest of this content that we advertised at E3 for you. Nope, I'm not going back to that game.
Yeah.
Holy smokes, that was such a sour thing. It's also Sea of Thieves. Just like it looks great. It looks so nice. When we were sailing, that's great. But like, so there's no fast travel in Sea of Thieves. I
Right.
understand they want you to like sail. So when we got to this bug where we couldn't finish it, and we're like, hey, maybe we'll come back to it tomorrow because we were just so frustrated.
Yeah.
So we reload into the game and it puts us on like a random island. We had to sail across the entire map just to get to the part where we could swim down to this thing and try and get back in the cave. That took like 20 minutes.
Yeah, no. That's bullshit.
It's Sea of Thieves is so weird. It's like an open world game that they're like grafting other mechanics onto. Like every time we came to a boss fight, the boss you never get to see the boss's health, so you have no idea if you're doing well. I know what you're saying. Well, does the boss like react? Can you see it taking damage? No. And there's nothing built into it to be like, you're doing correct. Let's do it. Like there was two significant boss fights, one in the first half, in the first chapter, one in the second one, where we both had to like look up in our phone, are we doing this right? Because this we just seems like we're doing like running in circles. And the answer was just, nope. You just keep doing that until you win. So it feels like they're just trying to graft all these other mechanics onto it without like actually like developing the mechanic fully like you'd expect in a different game. I don't know. I don't know if you enjoy Sea of Thieves, that good for you. It's not for me. I tried.
Sure.
Looks good. That water, those sunsets, they look great. I can say that at least.
Yeah.
And that's all I played. What about you?
I mean, we'll talk about Bug Fables later, but other than that, I finish off Nier. I'm done with that game completely.
You're free?
I'm free. All endings seen, and I'm not like I don't care about achievements and stuff, so I did
Sure.
everything that I wanted to in that game.
Was it worth it?
So originally there were 4 endings, and then the 5th ending is new to this version, even though it was written about in like a collection of stories or whatever called Grimoire Nier that they put out like in Japan or whatever. So they added an ending or like a thing from there into this game, and that ending is fucking amazing. That ending was real
Oh,
cool. So
okay.
that was exciting. Uh 2 of the like final endings were good. They were pretty whatever. They were good. Other than that, I don't think I ever have to see that game again. I'm pretty happy with it, what I've done in it. So
How does the ending compare to like the ending of Automata?
it's better
Wow.
because I like
That's high praise.
the characters more. So and
Okay.
it's more character driven.
Okay. And then without getting spoilery, do they do any kind of like cool mechanic twist or anything? Because there's like a mechanic
It's the
for
same. It's
Automata.
the same mechanic, but only
Oh,
but instead of like a worldwide thing, it's more of a close personal story thing to those characters, which is why I kind of enjoyed it more in that regard because I like those characters.
okay. All right. Cool.
Even
Well,
though Automata is the better game by far to play, that is so much the better game.
what was the hour count on Nier?
Uh, that's a good question. Let me quickly bring it up here. I was at 53 hours, so not too bad.
Okay. I was expecting longer because of how long you've been playing it for.
Yeah, but yeah, that's all I've been doing.
All right. Well, with that, let's do some news. Some stuff actually happened.
Oh, okay.
Um, First off, as we know, EA is doing kind of their summer games live stream on July 22nd.
Right, yeah.
BioWare has come out and said, we won't be there. Don't expect updates on Dragon Age or Mass Effect.
Oh, bummer. Okay.
So thanks for that, BioWare.
Oh, I had
Yeah.
something BioWare adjacent. Um, BioWare's old GM Casey Hudson formed a new studio called Humanoid.
Okay. Where's that? I don't know where Casey Huston's located right now.
There's offices in British Columbia and Alberta, but it doesn't say where. I'm gonna just put it
Okay.
here as well.
Well, hopefully it wasn't lit in British Columbia. Did you hear about that town?
Oh my god, yeah. That's the one that like set the record high too, right? After burning
Yeah, so
down.
for those who don't know, this town in British Columbia hit like the highest heat ever in Canada.
Yeah.
This last week, there was a big like heat wave in the West Coast, in like the whole Pacific Northwest area, and it hit the hottest point in Canada ever. Uh, and then a forest fire came through, and that town no longer exists.
Yep, it's gone. It
That's
burned
just
down.
that is messed up.
It's fucking crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, couldn't imagine it. My mom put it really well. Could you imagine? I think it was she was telling me about Vancouver. She was saying I guess Vancouver's had like close to 400 people die of heat stroke in the last week or something like that.
Sure.
Could you imagine making it through COVID and then just dying of heat exhaustion?
Yeah, it's been scary hot for the last week, so
This
it
is this is life now. This is global warming. It's only going to get worse.
yeah, like
Everything is
kind of.
terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Bummer.
All right. Jeff Grubb, known video game news leaker over at GamesBeat, and now he does a news show on Giant Bomb. On his first news show today, dropped a couple interesting facts. First off, Microsoft and Hideo Kojima are in talks.
Okay.
Um, Nothing is like set in stone so far. However, they pretty much signed a letter of intent, which means they have plans in the future to work together. Both sides are interested in working together if criteria is met. No indication whether Microsoft will invest in the project or Kojima Productions. The project is cloud-based, which who knows exactly what that means. I
Hmm.
would assume most games at this point are heavily cloud-based in some capacity, unless you're a Nintendo game.
Yeah.
Um, and the deal is unlikely to fall apart, which I feel like kind of goes without saying if they have this letter of intent already uh, on the radar. So uh, the quote they have here in the article is the point of the partnership is to unlock the creativity of Kojima Productions using Microsoft's technology as opposed to greenlighting a specific pitch.
Hmm.
So it sounds to me like Microsoft's coming out and saying, "Hey, we would love you to do something with all this tech," or Kojima Productions is coming to them saying, "Hey, we would love to do something with your tech," as opposed to Kojima pitching them on a game idea. So there might not even be a game in or at the moment. Who
Sure.
knows?
Right.
It's Kojima. We won't hear about it for a long time anyway.
Yep.
And then the other kind of bit of news that he mentioned is this was kind of teased last week of a possible Dead Space project being underway at EA right now, and it's now being heavily rumored that that's kind of was supposed to be the big surprise for this July 22nd EA live stream.
Oh, okay.
Um, and GamesBeat and Jeff Grubb here are saying that the Dead Space project is a reboot. Uh,
Hmm.
is not a reboot. That's what the leak was, but it's actually going to be a remake of the first game.
The thing is I love that first game, but I've played it and it's still playable. So I kind of wish they had just done a new one, but we'll see. We'll see. Have to see what
Yeah,
it
we'll
looks like.
see. I like a new one. I would almost wonder like what even that would be, because since that series changed so much. Like I recently
Yeah.
just started Dead Space 3, uh, as just that kind of the next co-op game I'm playing, and it's just like it's a completely different game from Dead Space 1.
It's yeah. It's not a horror game anymore at all.
Yeah,
Basically. Yeah.
I feel like if they were going to remake one would be kind of the most interesting and the one that would get people excited. Like who's honestly sitting there being like a remake of Dead Space 2? That is the one thing I've been waiting for.
I'm sure there are a bunch of people love that game, so it's a pretty good game. But yeah, I'm sure
Nothing
it's
against
somewhat.
Dead Space 2. I just feel like it's not like people don't like look back on it with high regard like they do Dead Space 1. Dead Space 1 just seems like it's a much more special thing because of how
Mm.
unique it is compared to the franchise.
Hmm.
So, I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Um it being a remake for me doesn't really excite me since that means it's a horror game and I probably won't play it.
Okay. Fair enough.
Something I might play though, announced today, Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut,
Okay.
which just kind of thinking out loud, I don't think I'm a huge fan when they put Director's Cut
Yeah.
when it's kind of like their Game of the Year edition. I
Yeah.
feel like Director's Cut kind of meant something in the movies industry,
Yep.
and it's like losing its like meaning over here. This and
Totally.
Death Stranding Director's Cut, like
Yeah.
what are you even talking about? Um, Anyway, this is basically their Game of the Year edition as well as the updated edition for the PS5. The big thing is it's going to include a whole island expansion, the Iki Island, that has a whole new story tied to it, and that's probably what I'm
Ooh.
most excited about.
Yeah.
And then the list of PS5 features include Japanese lip sync, uh, dual sense support, which that's definitely cool. 3D audio enhancements, load time improvements, 4K options targeting 60 frames per second, and then obviously you can transfer your save.
Hmm.
So it's coming out on both PS4 and PS5. It's $10 more expensive on PS5, 60 versus 70. And
Right.
there is an option to pay just to upgrade to get the new thing if you already have the game.
Right.
Uh, and I don't remember those numbers off the top of my head, but I did look up kind of my situation where I bought it on PS4 and I would need to upgrade for the PS5 version. That'll cost me $30 US.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I guess I'll see kind of how big that story expansion is. Um,
Yeah.
and then And then I'm crossing my fingers hoping that they give me like a quick tutorial on the combat again, since I will have forgotten that.
Yeah, it's been a while for sure. You know what I was just thinking of would be cool though? If there was a legitimate director's cut of something where a dude worked at a place, put out a game with like a full group of people, left, got the rights to his game, and then re-released it as a director's cut with all the stuff that he was told he couldn't put into it by
That would
somebody.
definitely be weird. Yeah,
That would be
there's
really
nothing like
weird.
that. Like I'm trying to think like what a true director's cut would be, and it would be like we took out all the microtransactions because we definitely didn't want
Yeah,
that. The
the creative
publisher made
director
us put
didn't
it in
want it.
there.
Totally. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, who knows, man. Konami is teaming up with Bluebird Team.
Yes.
This is weird. This is a weird thing. Just kind of hearing the name Konami is weird when it comes to games at this point.
Yeah, it's kind of too bad because there was a time where they were really good in the old era of gaming. So it's
Yeah.
weird.
No, they're pretty much past that. They haven't really been doing any games.
Yeah.
They haven't announced any kind of game or project. They just said a strategic partnership has formed.
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense, looking at Konami being the Silent Hill team, and then Bloober being just kind of like
The horror company.
a continuous horror company. They just keep doing horror.
Yeah.
And the Medium, the Bloober team's last game, even had the Silent Hill composer and producer did the score for that. So there's already kind of a shaking of hands going on. That's probably kind of what helped this. So
Yeah. There's also been, I didn't pull them because they're unsubstantiated. I've seen a bunch of articles with insiders report that multiple Silent Hill games are being made. It's like, yeah, okay.
yeah, who knows, man, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It is kind of weird how like Kojima has gotten so much of like the Silent Hill prestige tied to him just because
The
because of
trailer.
PT. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas like he wasn't really like tied to those games. He didn't do Silent Hill wasn't his thing. He was over there doing Metal Gear. He does PT and now everyone's like Kojima and Silent Hill. He's the guy.
Yeah. As far as I'm
That's
concerned, he's not because
he's
PT
not,
doesn't exist to me.
but I feel like a lot of people kind of point at
Yeah.
him doing a Silent Hill thing and yada yada. It must suck actually being kind of one of the leads on Silent Hill and being
On
like,
Team
that dude
Silent.
wasn't even in the same room as us.
Yeah. Agreed.
We got some more kind of developer news. Remedy has signed a co-publishing deal with 505 Games, which did Control with them. And now they're teaming up again to do a spin-off multiplayer game in the Control universe. Stop me
Okay.
if you've heard this one before. It's called Project Condor, and it's a 4-player co-op PBE game, kind of
Oh
like a Left
God.
4 Dead.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I mean, hey, I like
Sure.
co-op. I like Remedy. I like Control. I will play this game, but just add this to the list of every game is now a Left 4 Dead. How did this happen, Paul?
I
Why
have
is every
no
game a Left 4
fucking
Dead right
idea,
now?
dude. I have no idea. I think it's because it was a long time before we had one Left 4 Dead again, and everybody was like, "Man, it'd be cool to have a Left 4 Dead again." And then every developer decided to start working on it, and now they're all coming out.
I'm wondering what flipped the switch though. What did they look at? Was there some Left 4 Dead style game out there just racking in dollars and every developer was like, "We should get a piece of that pie."
I don't
Because
know.
it's all coming out at the exact same time. Something
It's
must
crazy.
like what? Yeah, like what is going on?
Yeah. Yeah, I have no
Like
idea.
the only thing I could see that kind of all happened at once is it has anything to do with like the pandemic. People are at home, gaming got really popular. People
Yeah.
want to play multiplayer. That doesn't say why this genre like picked up in such a crazy space.
Right. That's
I
probably
don't
it,
know.
though.
Anyway, so just a quick rundown of things that Remedy is currently working on. They have the new Control game, the spinoff here. They have Vanguard. They got the Crossfire campaign, and then they have possibly whatever's going on with Alan Wake over at Epic. So they got a lot going. Good for them.
Yeah.
Speaking of this whole thing's just about developers this week. Housemarque, developers of Returnal most recently, uh, Ex Machina, Resogun, your favorite kind of arcade games on the PlayStation, have been acquired by Sony.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, it just kind of makes sense. This reminds me of when they picked up the Spider-Man devs that I'm
Oh,
blanking on
Insomniac.
right now. Insomniac.
Yeah.
This was kind of just like a, oh wait, they didn't already own them?
Yeah.
This wasn't, these guys only really put out games for that system. It just makes sense. And I'm sure with Returnal being pretty successful, they were able to say like, hey, look, we're never going to be worth more than right now. Here you go. You should pick us up. We can get the most money if we sell. So I'm personally just real happy that there's going to be more Housemarque. I was super worried when they said we have to make new style of games because they're not working for us anymore. And I'm glad Returnal kind of returned on investment. And then yeah, now they're going to be financially safe. Last bit of news here. Within the last week, Xbox Cloud Gaming is now officially available on PCs, Apple phones, and tablets. It is out of beta. So if you're a Game Pass Ultimate member with basically access to an internet connection, you should be able to use Xbox Cloud Gaming, which is pretty exciting. And it also recently got updated to Xbox Series X hardware, so it should be running better than it was previously. As an Apple phone user, I'm real excited about this.
Yeah.
And let's keep going Game Pass for sure.
Yeah. No, for sure. It's good stuff.
All right, let's do some questions.
Okay.
If you want to send in a question, topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. I guess I messed up and did not include all of the previous questions that we had skipped when we did questions last week, so there's a whole bunch to go through. I'll start with these first for you from Suku Suku.
Okay.
You are given a dangerous power. You can make any game available on Steam free for a limited time. Will you provide the masses with something good, or will you go full meme? The choice is yours.
I mean, every game I don't own would be free. If masses want
Well,
that, cool.
I think you get to pick one game.
Oh, any one game available.
Any game is available. You can make any game available on Steam free for a limited time.
What about DLC? Because I'm thinking Train Simulator with all DLC is free for a limited time. The thing
I
that
feel like
usually
that's sure.
that usually costs like $5,000 total. Hey, people can just download that now.
Okay. I'm trying to think I'm trying to think of a game, not exactly that I really want, but that I just kind of want everyone to have access to. Like,
Oh, a multiplayer game would be good for
yeah,
that.
like immediately, like Burnout Paradise comes to mind as one of my favorite multiplayer games back in the day.
Sure.
Um, I don't know. I might. What about if I give everybody, and this isn't like massively multiplayer, but maybe more people should just play it. Is what's the like muscly man stacking game?
Oh my god. Jesus.
And they made a sequel when they were polygonal.
Yeah. Mount Your Friends.
Mount Your Friends. I feel like everyone should just play and experience Mount Your Friends because that game is a great time.
Yeah. That original game goes so cheap it might as well be free sometimes on sale.
Yeah, it's great. That game is so great.
Yeah.
Like it is so fun. People who don't play games could play it. That'd be great.
Yeah, it's really good.
Second question here from Suku Suku. What's your favorite Shantae design?
I don't know. Non-applicable. I played one.
I looked up like the pictures.
Okay.
I like the Pirate's Curse one the most, but it's not like by a substantial amount or anything.
So if I go Shantae design. He looks like pretty similar in all of these.
Yeah, well, she is the same character, so I would hope so.
Which one's the Pirate Curse one?
It's the third of the. I think there's 5 games. It's the third one.
Yeah, probably that one. It's like the most detailed in this picture that I'm looking at, so.
Last question here from Sukusuku. Who would win in an insurance mascot battle royale? For fairness sake, Geico only gets 1 rep.
Geico.
Who from Geico?
I don't know. I don't care.
Okay, well.
I don't know
if you don't...
what other insurance mascots there are.
There's like Flo from Progressive Insurance.
Oh, Flo totally wins.
I was looking at, let's see, insurance mascots. There's a whole bunch. There's that one guy with the emu. There's obviously the lizard from Geico, or sorry, the gecko from Geico.
Yeah.
There's the Aflac duck. This article's only giving me like 3 people. Five most memorable. You remember Geico's cavemen? Remember those commercials?
Not really, no.
I'm gonna put this quick link in our chat for you. These were like on when I was growing up for sure. Allstate's Mayhem, I think, was probably the most interesting one. Played by actor Dean Winters. That's number 4 on the list that you're about to see, Paul. Gabe Gabriel from State Farm. I don't know who this is. Oh, it didn't start until 2018. That's probably I haven't had cable for a while. There's Jake from State Farm. Remember Jake from State Farm?
Nope. I do remember these cavemen now, though.
Right? Yeah, the cavemen. Do you remember the Mayhem one?
Yeah. Vaguely. I think I like loosely remember one, like.
Yeah, he would just be like, "Hey, I'm this," and it would be like a bad thing that could happen, kind of. And it's like, and the whole point is you want insurance for this. But he just seems like he could really fuck something up, or someone up. So that's my guess.
Sure. Okay, Dedinsky has a couple questions here. First one, inspired by the Excel financial modeling esports competition, what's the next productivity tool that's going to make it big into this scene?
What? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Can anything beat Excel in a productivity tool?
Productivity that you could like compete with?
Probably not, right?
I don't know, because Excel's is like spreadsheets. That's like the most boiled down like organization tool, right?
And you can program in it too.
Well, the only thing I possibly think of is, I don't know, like just like the calculator app.
Okay. Yeah.
Like it would have to be something like real. Someone saying PowerPoint. What would you even do with PowerPoint? Like design a PowerPoint? Like who can do the best presentation?
Yeah, probably. I think the answer is just Excel, honestly.
Excel's very useful, that's for sure. You know, I mean, if I was gonna go for more creativity, like After Effects is like crazy powerful.
Yeah, sure.
And there's like programming in After Effects too. Like I use After Effects frequently, and even I don't feel qualified to say I am an After Effects expert.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
After Effects is neat. Second question. In a similar way to your 2009 Game of the Year podcast, are there plans to do a 2009 E3 podcast? Nope.
Not at the moment.
Next
What would that
question.
be? Like us just like watching the live streams again and then presenting the info that came out of the live streams as if it was like new?
Pretty much, yeah, I guess.
I guess it would just, so it'd be like You talked about a game. I don't know. It was called like Borderlands. Art style looked nice, I guess.
Yeah. Looks like the type of thing that could like really go off the rails in a sequel or two.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. There's no way they'll ever make a movie.
No, no way. Final question. I just played a game where I couldn't tell if every death causing the game to quit was intended mechanic or not. What game has fucked with your brain the most?
That seems messed up. That sounds like it was a bug, right? If you died and the game quit, it can't be real.
Yeah.
Um, what game?
I remember just being dumbfounded by Frog Fractions when that came out.
Okay,
'Cause
sure.
that thing, I didn't know if like it was actually the thing I was playing anymore at some points because it changes so weirdly, so many ways.
I could see that. I remember being pretty surprised by Hypnospace Outlaw.
Okay.
Um, so that thing's pretty silly as well. I guess kind of in a similar vein with towards the Frog Fractions one. There is no game. Wrong
Yeah.
Dimension.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty good one.
Pretty similar for sure.
Stanley Parable in the chat. That's a great answer.
That's a good answer. Yep.
What was the other one? It came out around a similar time that Stanley Parable, but it was about like creating a game.
The beginner's guide.
Beginner's Guide. Yes. There's another one. The Phantom Aegis writes, "What's your comfort food?" For those who need the definition, comfort food is any food that provides any nostalgic or sentimental value.
Mm,
My comfort food is probably like chicken nuggets. That
okay. Mac and
or
cheese.
like I was gonna say mac and cheese
Yeah.
is an easy one too. Um, Mac and cheese is a good one around here because there's like a specialty place that makes like real high quality mac and cheese or mac and cheese with like some really good stuff thrown in there and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
Like the whole mac and cheese restaurant, and that place is pretty great for sure.
Cool. All right. Linebeck. What are your favorite sound effects from any game? I really like the old Battletoads pause music. It's
Okay,
like
I don't know it, but okay.
I'm trying to remember
Yeah, just
like
like sing us a couple bars.
yeah. Like sort of thing.
So that's like every song.
Yeah. Every song boiled down.
um, in God of War, the most recent one,
Yeah.
that sound you get when that like axe comes back in your hand, just that
Yeah.
like thwack, that's just a good feeling sound. Um, the sound when Sonic is breathing air underwater, that like oh ah, that's
Oh,
a nice one.
it just relieves your like
Yeah, I mean,
tension
there's
too.
also that as like yeah, it's
Yeah.
just pure relief for sure.
Oh, like every fanfare in Legend of Zelda, the like normal do 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 do, or the like long drawn out like do 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 like build up. I love those.
Sure.
Even rupees.
In like a similar fashion, the Final Fantasy VII like battle victory song,
Yep.
whenever that comes up nowadays, and when I mean nowadays, I basically mean Final Fantasy VII Remake, because they'll kind of put it in like some smart areas in like a remixed way. That's
Yeah.
always just a nice little Easter egg to hear for sure.
Even just like the sound of the cursor moving from like those old Square Enix games just like burned into my memory.
Oh, I see.
Like
Like
a
yeah, like
high pitched
yeah,
sound.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see recently when that Square Enix showed what like the font is gonna look like in those new pixel remaster versions of like the
Oh.
first Final Fantasy? They're terrible. It
Oh
looks so
really?
bad. Yeah.
Oh, the Metal Gear codec noise when someone's calling you.
Yeah, that's a big one. That one never really did a ton for me, but like that's straight up people's like ringtones when they get a text message. So
Sure.
I definitely understand that is a popular one for sure.
Yeah. What's the easiest way for a game to get your interest? For me, it's the music. Art style, 100%.
Yeah, it's art style. And do you have like a specific thing, like a kind of art style that will immediately attract you?
Really crisp animation that's not pixel art or like it's hard to explain, but yeah, just
Well,
like a
give me
really
an
nice
example. Like, what's the last time you saw a trailer or some gameplay and it had this, what you're trying to describe, and it caught you?
Chris Tales, like an illustration, like a book
Okay,
almost.
sure. Yeah. Yeah. Um, Similar way I was gonna say art style, and if it looks almost like it's like hand drawn but animated,
Okay.
that's immediately gonna grab my attention. And stuff like that was the Wild at Heart did that.
Okay.
Um, what was the Spiritfarer?
Yep.
Spirit did that. Um,
Oh, what
Chris
about
Tales is right there.
that game that um I submitted but is never going to win, so I'll play it by myself. The what
Haven?
no, what is it? Minute of Islands or something like that?
Minute of Violence, sure, sure. I think that just grabbed me because I was like, this is Adventure Time.
Oh,
This just looks like
yeah.
Adventure Time.
Uh-huh, sure. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, but it doesn't even have to be like that kind of specific, like colorful art style or whatever. Genesis Noir was just incredibly striking in what that looked like. So that definitely did it for me as well. Um, Pixel art can do it from time to time, but it has to be like there has to be some kind of twist on it, or
Yeah.
they have to be like kind of putting like an effect on it. So ones that kind of did something a little more for me, Narita Boy
Okay.
was a pixel art one that kind of stuck out to me, and then our next TDP Plus game, Backbone, has a pretty nice looking pixel art aesthetic to it.
Sure. Another one for me is 90s like retro wave type things like VCR effects and weird
Oh, okay.
blown out VHS shit and stuff like that. Uh doesn't usually work with a lot of games, and most games that it does work with are horror games. So
Are you a big fan of when you have like film grain as an option?
not film grain usually, no. That's
Okay.
usually the wrong type of thing I don't like.
Do you play with ever whenever there's a filter that's like CTR and it kind of makes the edges bubble out?
No, because those are usually badly implemented.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Third question. What game have you played that you would say has the worst netcode? Probably a Nintendo game of some sort.
I don't know. Yeah, Smash Bros was pretty bad back when I was trying that online a little bit. Smash Bros Ultimate. I just played some Gang Beasts on Xbox because it just came to Game Pass yesterday.
Okay.
We just kept getting disconnected. Like every second match, it would just freeze. You're disconnected. I was kind of shocked that the netcode for that is so poor, considering that game has had online multiplayer for years now.
Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance is like fucking ridiculous for a new
Yeah,
game.
yeah. That's. I'm so curious. I want to know like what happened. Why did that game come out in that state?
Yeah.
Like it's like as broken as like Cyberpunk was, but just no one gives a shit because it's not Cyberpunk.
Oh my god, there was another piece of news that it's kind of related. Magic Legends, that like Diablo like, never left beta. It's canceled. They're pulling the plug on it, and they're
I think I
refunding anybody that put money into it.
weird. Yeah, I saw it got canceled. That's right.
So two losses for Wizards of the Coast products the last little bit.
Decoy Troy writes, "Are there any games that you think are held back by their age rating? Something that could be so much more if they didn't have to worry about the kids, or something that's unnecessarily vulgar and could be taken down a notch?"
Yeah, probably. Um, Held back might be.
Nothing comes to mind for me really. Like I'm trying to think what needs to be bloodier. It's pretty rare I'm gonna be like, I wish there was like more blood. Like I'm thinking of like
Yeah,
shooters that like a teen rated shooter, and I think of Halo, and it's like I don't think Halo would be better if they
yeah.
were just swearing the whole time and like you were seeing their heads exploding. I don't think you need it.
Yeah. Would Grand Theft Auto games be as good or compelling to people if they were rated T for teen?
I think so because I feel like most people aren't even playing the story mode at this point. So
Oh
like, what
yeah,
does it even
true.
matter?
That's
Like,
true.
and like, so if it let's just take GTA Online and get rid of kind of any narrative stuff that they're putting in there that most people are probably ignoring because they just want to like fly a plane into the side of a building.
Right.
It's like you could just take the blood out, and I bet they would have equally the same amount of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, and thing about it now, I think a lot of games that like are known because they have like hits or blood or an excessive swearing or any of that sort of thing, they actually not good game wise because that's what they're known for. So it wouldn't be compelling if you took that away at all. It would just be another mediocre game.
I mean, even with Grand Theft Auto, like it was definitely known for like, oh, there are like hookers in this game. You can go to
Yeah,
strip clubs, and it's like, yeah, but when you play those games, you go to the strip club once because you wanted to see like what are they going to show you. You like never spend any time there, and then you just go jump in a car and drive it off a cliff.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Second question from Decoy Troy. When you start up a game, do you tend to only play that game until you finish it, or do you have multiple games ongoing playthroughs that you cycle through with ongoing playthroughs that you cycle through?
Um, I start a game, and if I get into it, I will make it the only game I know I'm going to keep playing, but I'll play other games to test them out to see if they're up in the line eventually.
It would probably be better if I just started a game, got it done, and moved on. But I constantly have like at least 5 games going, like to the point where it's like I have my Switch game that I'm playing right now. Here's the
Oh
game
yeah,
I have on my PlayStation 5 that I'm playing through right now. And then here's 5 games that I'm playing co-op from time to time with my friend based on what we want to do. Whether that could be like we're gonna go jump back into Apex, or I'm playing through this single player thing, or yada yada. So I play through a whole bunch all the time.
sure.
And last, from Decoy Troy, going off Sean's conspiracy theory that Picross S is just reusing puzzles, could they be using the same puzzle for 2 different images?
Yeah, probably. I don't
Probably.
know what that could be, but I there's only so many numbers in the world. Something has to
I
be
mean,
used twice.
it's easy enough for them to be like, this rectangle is a picture frame, and this rectangle is a
Yeah,
window.
sure.
So I would not be surprised.
Yep, good point. All right, Hebrew Lantern. Now that this is in the running, in my opinion, for weirdest differences between US and Japan arts, what's your favorite? So this is cover
Scarlet
art,
Nexus.
right?
Yeah, and the one that they showed was Scarlet Nexus has a pretty different box art for US and Japan. In Japan, it's got all the anime characters on the front. In the US, it's like 2 characters in hoods with like shadowed faces, just
Yeah,
hiding all the anime they can.
yeah,
Ico, I always remember that Ico looks
yeah,
terrible in North America versus Japan.
sure. I remember there was a bunch of things over the years, but I'm trying to remember like any of them now.
Heavy Rains is super weird. It actually has 3 different ones because Europe has a different one as well. Um, all I can remember is one of them got like a nose sticking out of the water, so it's just like a wet nose being rained on. Um, and then I think we have like all the characters with like the woman up front because of course we do. And then
Yeah,
I think Japan has like the origami bird on it.
I hate the a lot of times I hate the American version because it's
Yeah.
always just the main character holding a sword or gun
Yep.
standing there, and then like sometimes a collage of enemies they fight or people you meet in the background with like random. So like one of these is Resident Evil 4, our version has like Leon in the front holding a gun and like the chainsaw guy beside him or whatever. The like other version that other places got is just like kind of an artsy, like silhouetted tree line with like a red background, and there's just like the silhouette of the Chainsaw Man standing there, like in the darkness. It's like, yeah, that's awesome looking. Or like you said with Ico or Eco or whatever, it's literally him with his fucking sword up, and the girl behind him in like a dream state or something like that. And then like the other one everyone else gets is basically like a postmodern painting or something of
Yep.
them in the landscape. Weird.
Yeah, I know for on the DS Zelda Spirit Tracks in America, we get just like Link with his sword and
Yeah.
then Zelda in her armor like behind him like ready to fight. And then Europe gets this great looking one where they're both having a blast on a train coming at you just in like a nice gorgeous field. And it's like these
Yeah.
guys are having so much fun. I wish I was having that much fun, but instead I got Angry Link. And then I think the weirdest one is there's a Kirby game on the DS. I can't remember specifically which one it is, but Japan got the exact same box art. It's exactly the same, except our Kirby, the eyes are angry.
That's pretty funny. Holy crap. I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Whereas in Japan, Kirby looks happy.
Oh, that's really funny.
I think that's the weirdest one. Like they literally said, "Hang on, he needs to be angrier, or else
Holy
Americans won't
shit, I
buy it."
just found it actually. Um
Is it Mass Attack?
it I can't read this. Writing. Oh my god. I don't know the names.
I think it might be Mass Attack.
The Squeak Squad mean anything?
Mm.
Pretty sure that's what this says, unless
No,
it's
it is Mass Attack. Let me see the Japan one. Trying to find like the article here for you. I'm not seeing the comparison, but anyway. There you go.
yeah.
Rinku writes, well, somehow or another, you got another genie, and it ended exactly as you think. Thankfully,
Okay.
however, Paul has gotten sick of these questions, and he found a good lawyer in Magical Court, and you win against the genie.
Okay.
Other than the usual cleaning up of shenanigans, you're allowed an ironic punishment on the genie. What is it?
An ironic punishment?
Yeah,
Oh.
you do an ironic punishment for the genie.
Um the genie has to make a wish that only I can grant, and then I don't do it.
Okay. So he has to wish for something, and then you're just gonna
And
be
then I'm
like,
just like,
no,
no.
no. The genie's gonna look up and shout, "Save us!" And I'm gonna look down and whisper, "No."
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, maybe something like you kind of put a curse on the genie that if they ever like do the whole like they took the wish too literal
Yeah.
so that it ended up screwing you over. If they do that, they lose like a year on their life.
Okay. Yeah.
However, but then genies are probably immortal though, right? So what would
That
that
yeah.
even do?
Totally. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe every time they do that, that's the other thing. I'm just trying to think like if it get hurts, it would have to get hurt in some way that won't kill it because maybe the genie wants death, like it's trying to escape.
Totally. Yeah.
So it would have to just be some kind of pain. I don't know. I also don't really want to torture a genie
Yeah.
physically because that
This
just
has
seems
gotten
messed up.
really dark.
Yeah, every time the genie does this, we're gonna waterboard him.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, maybe it would have to be something like the genie gets trapped in the lamp for a certain amount of time because I feel like most genies want to get out of the lamp. And they
Yeah.
were, and
Totally.
thank you so much for freeing me. I've been in there for 4 centuries.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have to share the lamp with something they hate, whether
Yeah.
it's like another genie or a second version of themselves. I don't know.
Yeah, this has gone off the deep end already. All right, VGC Kenny writes in. Good news. Sakurai's announced there will be a new character pack for Smash. Even better news that people will vote on it. However, there's a catch. Everyone can vote on the options for how the votes go. Oh, okay. People can vote on how the votes go themselves. Yep. The choices are 5 new characters voted worldwide, 10 new characters voted on by Japan and the Japan, the US, and one randomly selected country, or 15 new characters voted on by Japan alone. Which option would you vote for? My answer is easy. I don't care, so I'm not voting. What about you?
I'm gonna say 15 new characters voted on by Japan alone.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I think some shenanigans would happen.
Yeah.
Like what are some of the scenarios? We got a whole bunch of Fire Emblem characters.
That's probably what would happen. Yeah.
That sounds horrible, but as someone who really doesn't care, okay.
It would be kind of funny. It would also be kind of funny to see worldwide what 5 characters get voted on that like the world agrees on, essentially.
I also kind of like the idea of making it one specific country's like game choices.
Yeah.
So what if we just got a bunch of characters that no one's heard of?
Sure. I think we both agree that 10 new characters voted on by 3 nations is like the worst one, though, right?
I think that's the least interesting one.
Yeah.
And yeah, like so like what would happen if it was worldwide? Do you think it would just end up being like the meme characters would get in because enough people would vote?
It would be like Pepe, Dora the Explorer,
I mean,
maybe.
Waluigi would show up in there.
Peppa Pig.
See, those are more interesting to me than just the game characters that we keep hearing, like Gino and Waluigi and Dante.
Gino would probably be like one of the 5. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So 15 Japan alone. Like people would just go crazy that like how come Japan gets it all? How come they get to keep picking everything?
Yeah. Second question. If the internet became its own sovereign entity with its own laws and own leaders, would you apply to be a literal citizen of the internet? Absolutely not.
That sounds like a nightmare. Nope.
Yep.
Rasterman7 writes, so I've recently had a ghost trick ending TM moment with an anime called Odd Taxi. In other words, most, if not all, of the questions I had raised throughout its course were answered, and it was quite satisfying. Now, aside from that one, what other games have done something similar in your experience, and what about the opposite? As in, what games left you with more questions than answers by the end?
I don't know how the other games in this series does this, but I felt pretty satisfied by everything. I was just like, what about this with 999?
999 is real good. I feel like the next one, well, 999 does, there's some cliffhangers at the end of it,
Sure.
but it does wrap things up for sure. I want to say the next game left more things open-ended, but I think it's because they knew there was going to be a third one.
Okay.
999 is pretty isolated, so yes, 999 is real good about it. I was going to say any Ace Attorney game, but it's the same director from Ghost Trick, so that makes sense to me. One that I feel left me with more questions was Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh yeah, for sure. Of course.
Like you finished that going, what is this game?
Totally.
What is happening?
Yeah.
I thought I knew where this was going, but no, I don't know anything.
Totally.
Ghost Trick is so good.
The only official TDP game of the year, right? Ever.
I thought the most recent game of the year got like a higher score. Didn't Hades get an even higher score than Ghost Trick cumulatively?
Wasn't Ghost Trick on all of your number 1 though?
I don't think it was all of our number ones. I think it was high up there, but I think Hades beat it out by a couple points. The people in the chat will know better. They have a whole spreadsheet.
Oh, all right, fair enough. All right, last question from Elita1234. Someone is offering to make a cake made in the shape of a video game character's head of your choosing. Which character would it be, and what kind of cake?
Character's head. One that this isn't a character's head, but this would just be kind of a cool looking cake is like a Katamari.
That would be a cool cake.
Because it would just look like a kind of like a mess, like a big spherical mess.
Oh, and then you could cut into it and all those layers. Oh,
Well, that's the other thing is, and initially you would say, and there'd be so many different flavors. I think that would suck though. I don't
mm.
think that would be a very good cake. I would just want it to be one cake. So I feel like this kind of doesn't this question not just like who's your favorite video game character and what's your favorite kind of cake,
Like essentially, yeah, that's what
or
it
does it
is.
need to relate? Because no matter what, I'm gonna say chocolate cake with whoever I pick.
Right, because their example, I guess I didn't read it, is red velvet cake shaped like Mario, which is kind of like makes sense.
Because of the red, yeah, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Trying to think like
Yeah,
chocolate cake's like my favorite cake. Ice cream cake's real good. I'm trying to think characters that kind of line up with that. I don't know. I guess on the Katamari one, like you could do like the prince's head or the King of the Cosmos's head, and then maybe it's like a matcha cake. That sounds like it'd be pretty good. I'm just kind of thinking like
that'd be
green
pretty good.
colors.
Sure.
Yeah, that would probably be pretty good.
Katamari is a good answer.
Just the
Like,
ball. Yeah.
yeah,
What's the sport in Final Fantasy X?
ball.
What about a blitz ball cake?
Okay.
There's definitely been a. I'm gonna just Google that right now. There has to be a blitzball cake. Someone got that blitzball cake. Honestly, like nothing's really coming
Like,
up.
I'm trying to think if there's like a blueberry
Oh
cake
yeah,
or
there you
something
go.
like that for like a Mega Man shaped head or cake.
A blueberry cake? I mean, I feel like you could make. There's fruit cakes, so yeah, a blueberry cake could
I
be a
guess you
thing.
could do
I
something like that.
personally am not a big fan of fruit cakes,
Yeah.
or even dessert cakes with fruit. I guess I could do strawberry cake.
Oh,
That'd be okay.
you don't like a lemon lime or something like that?
Actually, lemon and lime would be pretty good, and like
Those,
lemon
yeah.
meringue pie and stuff is good. I guess I'm thinking of like the worst part of Black Forest cake is like the cherry filling.
Oh, okay. I don't mind the cherry filling in a black forest, but I'm not like overly crazy about black forest in general.
I just want an ice cream cake. I want like the Dairy Queen style ice cream cake where it's like a big chunk of vanilla and then like the little cookie crumbs and then
Oh,
you got your fudge and then the chocolate at the bottom
okay.
and it's just Nathan Drake.
Okay. By the time you get it, he's all like warped from like
It
melting and stuff like that.
Yeah, and my mom went and picked one up and she got it. She brought a picture in and Dairy Queen made it.
That would be pretty good. Oh, man, I almost want to see what they would do if I brought in a picture of like some
I'm
random character.
If I remember correctly, they had like a way to like almost print a photo onto the cake, so it
Oh,
would look fun.
lame.
Yeah, because I remember in the past, my mom has like had grabbed like weird photoshops of me and put those on cakes and brought that for my birthday
Oh,
and
that's
stuff
pretty
as like
good.
a fun gag. Yeah. That's gonna do it for questions this week. If you would like to send a question in, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's PO Box. What is your game of the week?
Nier.
And my game of the week is going to be Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Cool.
All right. Stay tuned if you're a Patreon backer, because we are going to be doing our Bug Fables episode shortly after this. John should be joining us. I hope he has not messaged us yet, which is not a good sign. Um, and we have our July game, as I mentioned earlier. It is Backbone, which is what we will be playing through next month. If you're a Game Pass subscriber, it's on Game Pass PC, so you should play along with us if you're interested. It's a noir detective game where you play a raccoon in Vancouver, Canada, which sounds great to me. So I'm looking forward to that. Anyways, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.